plastic trim tool. First piece I'm going to take off is the top triangle. Phillips screw right inside this little spot. Now there's a piece of plastic in here, a little rubber piece that protects that. And there's your next Phillips screw. And then you've got a Phillips screw right here in the interior door handle. Now with a trim tool, you go to the side of the panel here and stop popping off the actual connectors. Sometimes you want to lock that. Now from this side, you can see that we have a connector here for the mirror. So we're going to press in on the tab. You can use your tool if you want to. Press in on that tab and pull. And the same with these two. Then we have the actual rod for the door latch. So you're going to push this plastic clip back. There we go. And then you just lift the rod right out. Now we have our insulation covering here. We're going to pull that back. This is just the actual factory sealer. We'll reuse it. Looks good. Next step is we want to support our glass. Now we can use masking tape, body tape. I like to use trim tape, you know, like in your house trim tape. Or if you are set up and you have these suction cups, that's what they're for. It's for glass. It's kind of a big door panel here. The pillar is really wide. Let's see if I can. Let's see if one's enough. I'll put this one over here, actually. All right, so now we have two mounting screws that's going to hold that window regulator, squeezes the glass together. And it's right through here and here. It should be a 10mm socket. So with an extension, I'm going to put a 10mm socket on there. And I'm going to loosen it up. You don't have to take it all the way out. We just want to take the pressure off it. It squeezes it together just like a sandwich. Then we have another one over here. Same 10mm socket. And we'll loosen that up. Same 10mm socket. Now I'm going to take the bolt off that mounts the motor to the actual door frame. And this you can leave partially in because it's slotted, so you just have to lift it up. If it will lift for you. If not, we're going to go down to here. And this is the inner regulator guide. These have to come all the way out on the bottom, and the tops do not. Always be careful with the glass still because it is dismounted from the glass. So if this regulator drops out, there's a chance of the glass coming down like a guillotine. Even though I have suction cups on it, and if you have tape on it, it's still a safety procedure to think about that. So don't put your hands in there unless you need to. So we have the two upper ones that are on that regulator guide, and as you can see how the metal is cut out. So we don't need to take these bolts all the way out. We just want to loosen them up, give them enough slack. All right, so now that we have the two bottom bolts out, the two top ones are loose, we need to break that regulator from the glass. The glass is going to stay up. So turn the key on, grab your door panel, and hook in the main switch again. And we're going to put this window down. Okay, let's keep an eye on the glass. It should move, might move a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now turn your key off. And disconnect your panel again. So now that the glass is being supported nicely, we can lift up on this side guide. And we're just going to have to manipulate it out. Or you can take this bolt all the way out because it's too much work. There we go. And see, you're going to need a pair of needle nose or a body trim tool to disconnect that harness from that rail. We're going to go over here, lift this one up, pop it through. The motor comes out automatically. Now we have access to the motor. You can see it a lot easier. You're going to take this red clip and it's going to go that way. That's a safety lock, just like that. Pop that through. Now you can push this tab down and pull on it. Hopefully. There we go. So you're going to push down on the back part of the tab once that lock is pushed aside. Nice body trim tool. We're going to take the harness connector right off that. Take your body tool, go right in here and on the back side and take this plastic clip right out of the mounting hole. There we go. You're going to bring it to one side. And you're going to manipulate it right out this bottom spot. So here's our new regulator, and I just want to run over a few things with you. Make sure that the cables are not frayed. They shouldn't be, it's brand new. But the reason why, if you're asking why you can't get the motor separate, that's because when they're run by a cable system like this and not the crisscross, you know, the metal bars that do the regulator, this particular model, the cables are going through that actual motor. You can see it's sealed and it only mounts here, but the cables run through the regulator. Some manufacturers have all the cable system, but a metal bracket here and the motor itself just pops off and pops on. This Chrysler does not give that option, so you'll always have to get a regulator with a motor. Before you install the new regulator, this is where the glass sits in, right in that nice little rubber sandwich. You want to loosen these up. Don't take them all the way out, just loosen them up so it breaks free like that on both sides. Make sure you take the old hardware bolts off because you're going to need to reuse these. Now you can toss this aside. All right, so now we're going to basically reverse procedure. It looks worse than it is. Now I'm going to take this top screw and I'm going to put one in right here. Just start it so I can bring it up and guide it right in that slot. See, the bottom line's right up. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So now we can mount the motor securely to the door panel. I have a bolt that's a 6mm bolt with a 1.0 pitch thread. So now with the same 10mm socket, we're going to snug them all up. Bottom right out. Last one. Now the new motor comes with a little bit of extension of a wire, but we're still going to connect it, line it up, close it, and then push the lock in place. So with this excess wire, I'm going to attach it to the cable because the sheathing doesn't move, and I'm just going to use a wire tie. I just want to make sure that it's snug and out of the way because you don't want that glass going up and down, and it could damage it. Now, with the key on, we're going to hook the window regulator back up, main switch, and we're going to bring that regulator up so that these pins go right into the glass. This could be a little tricky because you don't want to put your hand in there and operate at the same time, but you definitely want it to guide right up in there because it's got to get onto that glass pinch. Now with that 10mm socket, and we've got those two pieces lined up with the plastic window, squeeze these fingers together. Just snug. You don't want to rank on it. Don't use a power tool because that is glass. All right, so now we're just going to make sure we put all our harnesses back in place, connect them, make sure everything's in good condition. I'm going to take my suction cups off. Okay, keys on, everything's tight, glass is free, ready to move. Let's bring her down. That is good to go. Wash her up, put the panel back on. So now we're going to put the insulation back on. I just put the harness back through the factory spot, and the rod goes way back here. And then just, this actually has to go up over this. Pretty much form where it belongs. Just push down the sealer. Okay, now we're ready to put the panel back on. You're going to want to check for any clips on your panel that might be stuck in the body. We've got one here, one there missing, and one here. So I already took them off the panel. So I'm going to put them back on. It's pretty simple. It's on the first extension, and they just snap right in. The white one goes up here. Okay. Now we're going to connect our connectors. There's two harness connectors right down here. Slide them back in. This one goes here. Do the actual mirror connector. So don't forget to hook up your actual interior door rod on the handle so you can actually get out of the car. Line this lock up. There we go. Beautiful. Nice. Now we've got 1, 2, 3 mounting screws that were Phillips head. I'm going to put the handle one in first. And I'll put this one in. Last one. And then there's one last thing, is this little rubber protector that goes in place.